In every city across America, something terrifying suddenly begins to happen. A mysterious disease starts spreading among children, and nobody understands where it came from. Parents watch helplessly as their sons and daughters slowly die in front of them. Doctors cannot stop it, and the government has no answers. But the strangest part is that the disease only affects children. Adults remain completely safe. Within just 1 month, almost 90% of the country's children are gone. The entire nation falls into panic, and families live in constant fear, wondering if their child will be next. However, the few children who survive the disease begin showing something even more shocking. They suddenly develop strange supernatural powers. Some become incredibly dangerous, and the government quickly starts seeing them as a threat instead of survivors. Even the president's own son is affected. During a public interview, a man named Gray explains that the boy's condition became stable after receiving a special treatment created by the CDC. He then asks every family with surviving children to hand them over to the government so they can receive proper care. But many people are not convinced. The fear surrounding these children only keeps growing. Meanwhile, we meet Ruby, one of the lucky teenagers who survived the disease. Even though she is safe, her parents are constantly worried about her. Fear has completely taken over their lives. Ruby tries her best to comfort them and act normal, but deep inside, she is scared too. One night, while Ruby's parents are sleeping, she quietly lies down next to her mother, hoping to feel comfort and safety. But the moment Ruby touches her mother's hand, something strange suddenly awakens inside her body. A powerful force activates without warning, and Ruby immediately becomes terrified. She quickly pulls away, not understanding what just happened. The next morning, things become even worse. When Ruby walks toward her mother, Molly suddenly looks at her with fear and confusion. It is as if she does not recognize her own daughter anymore. Molly believes Ruby is just some strange girl who broke into the house. Completely frightened, she locks Ruby inside the garage and calls for help. Hours later, government agents arrive at the house. Without explaining much, they take Ruby away along with many other children. When Ruby arrives at the CDC facility, she quickly realizes this is not a normal hospital. The children are treated more like dangerous prisoners than patients. Guards watch them closely, and fear fills the entire place. At one point, a young boy tries to escape from the camp, but before he can get far, a female guard violently knocks him to the ground. The boy becomes furious. He stares directly at the guard, and suddenly his supernatural power activates. Within seconds, the woman loses control of herself and takes her own life. The other children are completely shocked. Before anything else can happen, more guards rush in and brutally attack the boy to stop him. After this terrifying moment, the children are taken to something called the color processing ward. There, Ruby speaks with a doctor who explains the truth behind the survivors. He reveals that every child who survived the disease experienced changes in their DNA, giving them strange abilities. To control them, the government created a ranking system based on colors. At the bottom are the green children. They are extremely intelligent and can solve problems much faster than normal people. Most survivors belong to this group. Above them are the blue children, who have telekinetic powers and can move objects with their minds. Then come the gold children, who can control electricity. The government considers these three groups mostly harmless, but the most feared children are placed at the top of the pyramid. The red children can control fire and destroy almost anything around them. And finally, the rarest and most dangerous of all are the orange children, who can enter people's minds and control their thoughts. Luckily for the government, these two groups are extremely rare. But after examining Ruby, Dr. Viceroy suddenly discovers something shocking. Ruby is actually an orange. The moment he realizes this, he secretly prepares a deadly injection because children with orange powers are considered too dangerous to stay alive. Ruby quickly understands that her life is in danger. Terrified, she tries to run away, but the guards catch her before she can escape. With no other choice, Ruby uses her powers for the first time in a serious way. She enters the doctor's mind and changes his memory, forcing him to believe that she belongs to the harmless green group instead. Because of this, Ruby survives. Soon, she is transferred to the government camps where children are separated according to their colors. Interestingly, there are no red or orange children anywhere in the camp. Ruby later learns the horrible truth. Every child from those groups was killed shortly after being identified. She is the only orange left alive. 6 years have passed. Ruby and the other children are now teenagers, but life inside the camp is still brutal. Every day they are forced to perform tasks designed to improve and test their abilities. One day, While Ruby is doing intellectual work with the green group, a guard notices that she is not as smart as the others. He becomes suspicious and aggressively yells at her. Seeing Ruby being treated badly, another girl steps in to defend her and insults the guard. Because of this, the girl is dragged away for punishment. Meanwhile, Ruby is forced to go through something called a frequency test, which only affects children whose DNA was changed by the disease. The moment the test begins, Ruby suddenly collapses. When she wakes up, she finds herself handcuffed inside the infirmary next to a doctor named Kate. Before Ruby leaves, the doctor secretly hands her a note. The message reveals terrifying news. The soldiers have finally discovered that Ruby is actually an orange, and they plan to kill her soon. If Ruby wants to survive, she must meet Kate near the boilers. A little later, Ruby sneaks away and finds the doctor waiting for her. Kate helps her escape from the camp, risking her own life in the process. As they approach the main gate, one of the soldiers suddenly recognizes Ruby. But before he can stop them, Ruby uses her mind control powers and forces him to let them pass. For the first time in many years, Ruby finally escapes the camp. The next morning, she wakes up outside and becomes emotional seeing the real world again after spending so many years imprisoned. She also learns another disturbing truth. Ever since the disease spread, adults have no longer been able to have children. Humanity is slowly dying out. Ruby asks Kate where they are going, and the woman tells her about a secret organization called the Children's League. Their mission is to rescue children trapped inside government camps. Before continuing the trip, Kate gives Ruby a necklace with a tracker hidden inside it. She explains that if Ruby is ever in danger, all she has to do is press the pendant so Kate can find her. Later, Kate meets her boyfriend, Rob, and happily celebrates another successful rescue mission. Rob gives Ruby a backpack and tells her to change clothes inside an abandoned gas station nearby. But the moment Ruby accidentally touches Rob's hand, she suddenly sees a vision of him capturing children. Immediately, Ruby realizes something is wrong. Kate and Rob are not as trustworthy as they pretend to be. While inside the station, Ruby meets another young girl named Zoo, who has the power to control electricity. Zoo is scared of everyone and barely speaks. Using the confusion as a distraction, Ruby grabs Zoo and runs away to a nearby van. She tells the girl that Kate and Rob are dangerous and that they need to escape immediately. A short time later, two boys named Liam and Charles arrive. The moment they see the adults chasing them, they panic because they no longer trust any grown-ups. Once they get far away from the gas station, Liam and Charles finally realize Ruby is hiding inside the van. Ruby quickly explains her situation. After hearing that the Children's League was planning to take her away, Liam decides to help her. But Charles is not happy about bringing another person into their group. At that exact moment, a dangerous bounty hunter named Lady Jane suddenly appears and starts chasing them down the road. Soon, Kate and Rob catch up as well, and chaos breaks out between all the vehicles. Realizing the adults will never stop hunting them, Liam hands the steering wheel to Ruby. Then he uses his telekinetic powers to tear apart the road behind them, causing a huge crash that finally stops the pursuit. Hours later, the group stops to rest. Ruby says she plans to return home alone, but Liam warns her that hitchhiking by herself is too dangerous because the government will capture her almost immediately. He then invites Ruby to travel with them to a mysterious place called East River. According to rumors, East River is a secret safe camp where escaped children are hiding from the government. The place is controlled by a mysterious man known as the Fugitive. Nobody knows his real name, but people call him that because he is supposedly an orange who escaped from prison 4 different times. Realizing this is probably her best chance to survive, Ruby agrees to travel with the group. During the journey, Ruby learns more about Liam's past. He tells her that he was once recruited by the Children's League too, but he eventually left after finding out that the organization trains children to become soldiers and fight against the government. That night, the group rests inside an empty building. While sleeping, Zoo and Ruby accidentally touch each other. The moment it happens, Ruby suddenly sees one of Zoo's memories. She watches the terrifying day Zoo escaped from her prison camp during a huge rebellion led by Liam. There is screaming, fighting, and complete chaos everywhere. Suddenly, both girls wake up at the same time. Liam quickly notices that Zoo is scared and comforts her after realizing she just had a nightmare. The next morning, Ruby and Liam grow even closer. Liam smiles when he sees Ruby wearing a dress that Zoo secretly made for her. For a short moment, things finally feel peaceful, but suddenly, 2 bounty hunters appear out of nowhere. Before any fight can start, Ruby secretly uses her powers to control their minds and convinces them to leave peacefully. What surprises Ruby the most is that this time she did not even need to touch them. Her powers are becoming much stronger. Liam notices something strange has happened, but he cannot figure it out because Ruby has always pretended to be a green. Later that day, the group finds an abandoned shopping mall and decides to search for supplies. While walking around the mall, Ruby and Liam suddenly notice strange signs written on the ground. Before they can react, a group of masked teenagers attacks them using telekinetic powers. The fight becomes intense very quickly, but then Zoo steps forward and attacks the strangers with electricity. At that moment, everyone realizes they are all children. The masked group immediately removes their masks and apologizes, explaining that they thought Liam's group were bounty hunters. Their leader introduces himself as Carson. He invites the group to stay the night at the mall and reveals that he and his friends actually work for the fugitive. Excited by this news, Liam asks where the secret camp is located. But Carson refuses to tell him because there are strict rules meant to protect the children hiding there. So once again, Ruby secretly uses her mind control powers. She gently influences Carson and convinces him to give them a clue. Under Ruby's control, Carson quietly says the letters EDO. That night, Charles spends hours trying to solve the mystery. Since he is the smartest member of the group, he eventually realizes the letters are connected to a radio frequency. After tuning the radio correctly, Charles and Ruby finally hear a hidden message revealing the location of the secret camp. The next morning, the group begins traveling toward Lake Prince, where the camp is supposedly hidden. But there is one problem. Lake Prince is very close to Ruby's old home. Unable to resist, Ruby decides to visit her parents one last time. She sadly says goodbye to her friends and walks toward her house alone. For 6 years, Ruby dreamed about seeing her family again. But when she finally looks through the window, her entire world falls apart. Her parents do not remember her at all. Because of Ruby's powers, their memories of their daughter were erased years ago. To them, Ruby never existed. Completely heartbroken, Ruby walks away crying. Liam follows her, comforts her, and gently brings her back to the van. But the moment they arrive, both of them freeze in shock. Lady Jane is already waiting for them. Before they can react, the bounty hunter uses a powerful sound frequency device that instantly paralyzes both of them. Liam falls to the ground, unable to move, and Lady Jane quickly handcuffs him. Then she turns toward Ruby with her gun raised. But this time, Ruby fully unleashes her orange powers. She forces Lady Jane to drop her weapon and then calmly orders her to walk into the forest and never stop walking. Ruby literally controls the woman's mind and sentences her to wander until she eventually dies from hunger and exhaustion. The moment is terrifying, even for Ruby herself. Now that her friends finally know the truth, Ruby admits that she is actually an orange. She apologizes for lying to them and explains that she still cannot fully control her abilities. But instead of getting angry, Liam, Zoo, and Charles understand why she kept it secret. They know orange children are hunted more than anyone else, and they can only imagine the horrible things Ruby has suffered. After clearing up the misunderstanding, the group abandons the van and continues their journey through the forest on foot because the secret shelter is nearby. After several hours of walking, armed soldiers suddenly surround them and prepare to shoot. Luckily, one of the guards recognizes Liam and immediately orders the others to stand down. The soldier introduces himself as Mike. Years earlier, Liam helped him escape from a government prison camp, and Mike never forgot it. To repay the favor, he personally guides the group to the hidden shelter. When they finally arrive, everyone is shocked after discovering who runs the camp. The mysterious fugitive is actually Clancy Gray, the president's son. Even more surprising, Clancy already knows about every member of the group. He also reveals that Ruby is the only living orange besides himself. Clancy warmly welcomes them and announces there will be a huge party that night to celebrate their arrival. During the party, Liam asks Ruby to dance. For the first time in years, the two finally allow themselves to feel happy, and they share a sweet moment together. The next morning, Ruby visits Clancy privately. Clancy explains that after the disease spread, his own father allowed scientists to experiment on him in hopes of finding a cure. But after years of painful tests, the doctors failed and eventually gave up. Feeling betrayed and angry, Clancy escaped from home and created the shelter to train children and fight back against the government. Since Clancy has much more experience controlling his orange abilities, he begins teaching Ruby how to use her powers properly. He even shows her how to control people's minds without touching them. During one training session, Ruby tells Clancy the heartbreaking story of how she accidentally erased herself from her parents' memories as a child. Clancy becomes fascinated because even he cannot do something that powerful. He then asks Ruby for permission to enter her memories so he can understand how she did it. He promises that maybe together they can restore her parents' memories someday. Ruby agrees, but suddenly, everything goes wrong. Ruby loses consciousness, and when she wakes up, she finds Clancy trying to kiss her while she is helpless. Shocked and disgusted, Ruby punches him and runs deep into the woods. There, she finds Liam. The moment he sees her crying, he becomes worried and asks what happened. But Ruby is too ashamed to explain it. However, by accident, she transfers her memories directly into Liam's mind. The second Liam sees what Clancy did, he becomes furious and grabs his gun to hunt him down. Ruby stops him because she knows things will only get worse. She decides they need to leave the camp immediately. Together, Ruby and Liam go to find Zoo and Charles so they can escape. But just as they are preparing to flee, the commander from Ruby's old prison camp suddenly arrives with dozens of armed soldiers. Liam attacks the commander immediately, but before he can win, Clancy appears and uses his orange powers on him. Within seconds, Liam collapses into a vegetative state, completely frozen and unable to move. At that moment, Charles realizes the horrifying truth. Clancy has been secretly working with the government all along. Using his powers, he has been controlling his father's mind from behind the scenes and manipulating the entire country. Because he is the president's son, Clancy practically controls the government itself. Now he wants Ruby to join him so the two strongest oranges can rule the world together. When Ruby rejects him, Clancy becomes furious. To punish her, he forces the commander to brutally attack Liam while the young man is helpless and unable to defend himself. And while Ruby watches in horror, Clancy begins erasing her memories. But now, Ruby finally understands how to fully control her powers. Before Clancy can finish, Ruby suddenly fights back and forces the commander to take his own life. At the same moment, Zoo shuts down all the lights and unleashes massive electric currents through the camp, taking down many of the soldiers. Meanwhile, Charles helps Liam get back on his feet, and the group quickly escapes. But just as they are about to reach the forest, helicopters suddenly appear overhead. More soldiers arrive, and this time they are accompanied by terrifying red children. The government has secretly been using these fire-controlling kids as living weapons the entire time. Within minutes, the whole camp is covered in flames. The children living there finally realize the truth about Clancy, and all trust in him is destroyed forever. Following Clancy's orders, the red children attack Ruby and her friends. Liam bravely fights back and throws a huge container at them to slow them down. As Clancy approaches, Ruby tells her friends to run as far away as possible while she stays behind to face him alone. Using her powers, Ruby takes control of several soldiers and forces them to aim their guns at Clancy. But Clancy is even stronger than before. He instantly takes control of the soldiers' minds and cruelly forces them to shoot each other. Then he tries entering Ruby's mind once again. Clancy says he wants to erase all her painful memories so they can start over together. But before he can fully control her thoughts, Ruby notices a helicopter flying nearby. Using her powers, she crashes the helicopter directly into Clancy. A massive explosion erupts across the camp. Ruby is thrown to the ground by the impact, and fire spreads everywhere. Just before the flames reach her, Charles rushes in and saves her life. The two escape into the forest, but Charles is badly injured during the escape. Desperate to save her friend, Ruby activates the tracking pendant Kate gave her so the Children's League can find them. A little later, Liam returns. Ruby explains that she called the League for help. She knows Liam escaped from them before, so if they catch him again, they will never trust him. Ruby begs him to run away and save himself, but Liam refuses to abandon her. Even though he knows he may be sent back to the horrible camps again, he decides to stay by her side. Soon, Kate and Rob arrive and take the group back to the League headquarters. When Ruby wakes up later, she learns that Charles is receiving treatment in the hospital, but Liam has been arrested. Ruby immediately makes a deal with Kate. She promises to officially join the Children's League and fight for them if Liam is allowed to go free. Kate agrees, but she also warns Ruby about something important. She says that if Liam truly loves her, he will never leave willingly while she stays behind. That leaves Ruby with only one painful choice. With Kate's permission, Ruby visits Liam one last time. The two hug each other tightly, while Ruby cries uncontrollably. Then she gently asks Liam to close his eyes. Ruby kisses him, and at the same time uses her orange powers to erase herself from his memory forever. Every memory Liam has of Ruby disappears. From the moment they first met, all traces of her are completely gone from his mind. The only girl he ever loved becomes a stranger to him. When Liam opens his eyes again, Kate walks into the room carrying a backpack filled with money, supplies, and a brand new identity so he can finally live free. As Ruby watches Liam leave without remembering her, her heart completely breaks. But she believes it is the only way he can truly have a happy life. That day, Ruby sacrifices her own future so Liam can be free. Afterward, Ruby officially becomes one of the leaders of the Children's League, promising to fight against the corrupt government that imprisoned innocent children for years. But the story is far from over. Unknown to everyone, Clancy actually survived the explosion, and he is now building an even larger army to take revenge. And that is the story of the Darkest Minds.